So welcome back, guys. This is another episode with brother Ahmed Khalfan. So real estate, is it only about profit and money and savings and taking care of yourself in the future, or there is any purpose? Because I know for a fact, like one of the writers, he's like not properly writer, he's bestseller actually.
Sure.
So he comes from the, I think you know him,
Yes.
Robert Kiyosaki maybe.
Yes. Yes.
So his idea is that one of the talks he gave, this was maybe private talks. He said money is like it is gonna come.
Yeah.
He's certain about it, yani. He's dead sure that it's gonna be like by nature it's coming to you. He has the way he has gone through, the way he has experienced. He's dead sure now about the money, yani. But one thing he wants to do is like contribute now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, in what way you can contribute from real estate?
Well,
Because
a lot of
it's
things
not
can happen.
either it's a growing business. It's
Absolutely.
like the prices are always growing.
Absolutely.
It's not like gonna be like reducing.
Not only that, there's also the tendency that you know how like they always say money makes money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In real estate, when you are generating, and especially when your property is well managed, usually the biggest and the largest number of billionaires and millionaires in this time are real estate owners. And why is that possible? Why is that predicament very clear? It's because wealth generates wealth. What happens is you buy one little apartment. That apartment, if you are not in need of that property, will generate for you money that you will never imagine would be possible. Because you will not be aware until you actually experience it. And a certain timeline, let's say 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line of owning this property, you will look at your numbers and you say, what? I actually made this much from this property? That's like X percentage of the value of the property.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So now, okay, like that means that this works and that I should be doing more in this arena.
Yeah.
But what is good? Your question basically is the same scenario that you would actually have with any tool that is financial and that allows for you to generate while you are sleeping. It's time. It is time. What you do with your time. So if this property allows you, right, to not have to work, all right, you're making 1,000 dinars from this property a month. 1,000 dinars pays the bills.
Yeah.
For a lot of households. So what you would do is you would say, okay, that means that I don't have to have a job.
Yeah.
But I still like my job, so I'll still do it. But I will be able to feel free enough to do charity work or to focus on, these people who volunteer, right?
Yes.
Usually, people in need, people who are desperate, people who have mouths to feed, they won't work charity work. They will not volunteer. It's very difficult for them to do that because how are they going to be able to survive? How are they going to be able to eat?
Right.
People who do volunteer work are freed from the harsh, grueling work environment that most of us have to endure. So what you end up having is people who put good in the time that they have. And the only way for that to happen is if they have
done something,
or if they actually have assets like real estate to help them. You've heard of family trusts, yeah?
Yeah.
Family trusts, 90% of it is real estate. Portfolios that are put together by a property manager that was assigned by the who is giving out this will for this family.
Yeah.
And the family trust is how it's broken down for generations to come. So when you hear somebody who said, "Oh, this guy is spoiled; he has a trust under his name," that means 90% of the time that this person actually has inherited real estate, a real estate portfolio, and they can actually earn for the rest of their lives without having to do anything. But why this is important is because people in that position, they need to be able to say to themselves, I was lucky enough in this life to be given this. I should be able to give back. I should be able to help people. I should be able to save others who were not in this situation that I'm in right now. And the whole teaching of, or not teaching, but let's say schooling, they would call it, of why is it important to own real estate? Why should you choose to, at some stage, if not too early in your life, but later on, own
your own
house and have property that helps you pay your bills. That's investing. Owning your own house, that's a different story. Now, that what people need to always know is the difference between assets and liabilities. I have a very big liability, but I don't mind putting money in it. My own home costs me the most every year.
Okay.
By far, compared to my expenses.
Okay.
Why does it cost me the most? It's because I want it to be a good home.
Yeah.
Right? Why is it called a liability? It's because it's an asset that actually takes money from your pocket.
Yeah, but doesn't give you anything.
Right. An asset is a yielding. Like real estate can be both.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few
People
scenarios that it can be both. Similarly, a car, for example.
Yeah.
Car
is
can be
always-
both.
Yeah.
It can be a liability if you're not going to be a taxi driver.
Yes.
The only way for you to actually make money out of a car, besides being a racing driver, but it would be something where you would see people, and I've had this conversation with quite a few of the investors who sometimes come in on real estate, sometimes go into business, and they tell me, I have a friend who owns 10 buses in the UK and really making a lot of money out of them. But they obviously
The maintenance
cars
is-
have, they reach to, especially mileage situation, there's a system behind it. They reach to a certain mileage and then they want to sell.
Okay.
Because then that when it reaches to 200,000 kilometers, I think is the right.
It will finish in 1 year, maybe.
Exactly.
Okay.
Why do you see
new buses.
Yeah, because what happens, you don't usually have rental vehicles more than 2-3 years old, because then they become a big liability
Yes.
on the owner of this
Right.
rental company. So they try to either discard it, or they say, okay, we'll try to find a buyer, and this is how much the depreciation would have reached to this value, and this is what we are offering it in the market for sale. So that is different in real estate. In real estate, you don't really have depreciation is always there, but you don't get to an extent where over a short period of time this property becomes rendered useless. No. Usually with real estate,
It's growing always.
it's growing. It has a expiration date, but usually it's in a very, very long. You're talking a century.
Hundreds, yeah.
Yes, you're talking within a century. In Bahrain,
But even after century also, that place becomes better.
so you have benefit in that.
Still, you
still have benefit in
yeah.
that. So and most of the time, this property would have changed hands a few
Yeah.
times before that time frame has
Yeah.
reached. So it does become quite important for us to realize that when it comes to real estate, it's for life. It's a decision that you take for life, In many cases, a lot of people would say, no, I'm actually buying it now and I'm going to sell it 5 years down the line. It's an opportunity for me to make money during this time and probably have a markup by the end of this period. In other cases, like for example, myself, I have multiple uses for this property. I want to earn money from it. I want to, use it a bit. And I want to also probably pass it on to the next generation. So there's multiple uses here.
Yeah.
There's end user, there's investment, and there's inheritance scenario where you can pass it on. Just like what I was blessed to have. And I want my kids to get that. It's very important. It's very important. Because if they get that, they're not going to be spoiled. Sure. They will just actually, they will have
freedom. Yeah.
Yes. They will have something that they benefit from. They will have something that can be passed on. That I can make sure that happens. I can at least try. And I think that basically puts it all in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's very important to learn from people's mistakes. It's to learn from people's victories, their achievements. Don't
Very
feel
true.
jealous whenever somebody does something good. Actually, thank them because you can take that and go with it.
Yeah.
So I always think when I have competition in the market, it's becoming more so now than it used to, that I actually say, good for him, good for her, great, it's actually fantastic, it's good news. Yeah, sometimes they tell me, yeah, this person sold more than you in this project. Wow, that's great.
Yes.
Fantastic. How did they do it?
Yeah.
Can I learn from
Them, yeah.
them? Or actually, I would automatically learn from them because I would figure out that they had a system, they followed it, it worked.
Yeah.
So do the same. Always think that everything in front of you, you can learn from.
Yeah. At least I should remember Muhammad Isa.
Absolutely.
Because since you are getting into education, I'm
Absolutely.
sure. What have you planned so far? Anything with him? Or
Yes, we do.
I'm sure because I have seen some pictures sharing on the social media, both of you. That
we have, and we do have
exchanging each other the knowledge.
True, we fine gentlemen. Muhammad is a true gentleman in every word. He is definitely a first in many things. He was able to jump into a very tough but yet very much rewarding role, and it had nothing to do with financial decision making. It was something that he thought that was going to benefit people. Book writing and authoring and being able to speak in multiple facets of life, leadership roles, allowing people to really pick his brain and be able to take in a lot of the knowledge that he can share is what I'm doing with him, is what we're trying to work on together in multiple scenarios to come. So there is a piece that I'm working on with him that has a lot to do with financial freedom. It has a lot to do with chapters where there's a learning process, and there's a series of focus type of discussion that allow for people to pick it up and say, okay, this is literally a rule book. This is literally a step-by-step based scenario that anybody can
take it and use it.
And they can, and it's free. And what's going to end up happening is I'm trying to figure out a way to publish it and have it out there for free.
Okay.
Nothing that I wanted to do when it comes to sharing knowledge and allowing people to really benefit from everything that I was learning and my constituents have figured out during these times, whether good or tough, I'm doing for monetary purposes. It's always being done for the purpose of helping and being a positive influence to people. So I think
you have something going on.
Yes, yes, and I'm very happy that it's coming together.
Yeah,
I'm very happy that it took a long time. But the thing is, it's one of those cases where I didn't put a time frame
for this.
I didn't say I'm gonna be an author by this age.
Okay.
I didn't even have it in my plans.
Okay.
Sometimes these
small goals.
Yes, small goal that wasn't there, and it just got created. It just came out of nowhere, and I thought I would actually do it, and I would give it a shot, and I'm not gonna back out or drop it. A lot of cases where there would be people who would say, okay, like I have a lot of information, I have a lot of knowledge, I want to share it. They pick up the pen, and 6 months later they drop it, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
They can't even publish the book because it's not finished.
Yeah.
So I was trying to avoid being in that kind of position. So I reached out to Mohammed because I knew that he would help me the most. And that's another thing that's a bit annoying. It's like it's not very easy to publish a book here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, where do you go?
Yes.
Right?
Still.
Where are the publishers?
Nothing.
So can you believe that he told me that I'll hook you up with my publisher in the US?
MashaAllah.
Sometimes I say, why in the US?
Why don't we have here?
Right. So this is another thing where, I would say, I wish I could actually share this with everyone, And I will.
Yeah.
But in due course,
Inshallah.
when you achieve, that's when you can say, this is how I did it.
Yeah.
And it could be beneficial for a lot of people or even one. All you need is one. In the end, if you help one person,
yes,
that's it, you did it.
Yes. Maybe that one person can change the whole world. Yeah. Exactly. Who knows?
Or that same person would teach 100 people.
Yes.
Thanks to your ability to have given that knowledge to this person.
Exactly.
And in the end, it comes back. In the end, it comes back.
Always good.
Always good comes back.
So, what is the valuable piece of advice you might have got for real estate and real life?
Always be humble. Always think that anything can happen to you.
Yeah.
Always appreciate what has been given to you, and don't think of real estate as so complicated that this is a building, or this is an apartment, or this is a home. Always think of it as a plan, because real estate can change hands. It doesn't have to be this portfolio. It could be this portfolio. 10 years down the line, this portfolio is gone. You would have this portfolio.
No attachment.
But how did you get this portfolio? It's because you probably had this portfolio before it.
Okay.
And it allowed you to exit and get this capital to go into this
something
portfolio.
Better. Yeah.
Something better. It could be in retail. It could be in the residential side of things. It could be in commercial. In certain cases, I remember there was a gentleman who told me, why would I buy an apartment? I have here in the souk, Manama, you can buy a space that has its own address card.
Okay.
And in the Gold City. Okay. A space that you can buy.
Okay.
I don't know, it's something like 20,000 dinars. And it makes you like 400 dinars a month. For sure. Guaranteed.
Okay.
Guaranteed, because it will never be unoccupied. It's always occupied. It's always
full.
Exactly. There always will be jewelers who would say, I need a space in the Gold City. Right? So it could be commercial, it could be retail, it could be residential. It all depends on what you are more familiar with, what you have more understanding of, what you are more comfortable with. Why, for example, I'm buying property that is luxury and high end and so on and so, it's because I know it. You know, if I was in the market for medium level property in different parts of Bahrain, I would have invested in that. So it all depends on what you have more comfort in, what has been presented to you in the right way, at the right time, with the right plan. This is what I would suggest anyone would actually go for. And thinking about real estate is literally thinking about your plan for life. And usually when you get into real estate with others, you get into it with them for life. As long as usually it would take. Because if you are not, then if you basically, let's say, sell your portfolio, which it took you 10 years to grow, and you came up with $1 million dinars, and you spent all of that money, you won't be in with that group anymore.
Yeah.
You would be high flyer. You would have, become, lifestyle-wise, you'd be, wow, But you won't be part of that group anymore.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is, if you choose to do it and you choose to have it, do it with someone that you're going to feel that you're going to probably be with for the rest of your life, i.e. your family. And for me, my wife, myself, my brothers, it's that kind of scenario. I've owned property with my brother, I've owned property with my wife, and I've owned property with my family. So it's long term, super long
plan, yeah.
Super long term.
With all the roles you have in your life.
Absolutely.
Before I get into the rapid fire questions, I wish I could take more of time, because it's hard to get 1 hour thing done.
I know.
With all the questions which I have.
I know.
It's let's say in life there's pain and failure. Does it really have to happen in our life to get to some success and freedom in your life, or what is your philosophy behind that?
It helps.
Okay.
It helps. It helps. It's not something that you have to go through. You could be lucky. You could be a lucky person and not go through it.
Yeah.
And avoid it. But that's when you realize that in avoiding pain, you won't get the gain.
Oh.
It's a pain and gain scenario.
Yes.
Life is all about
pain and
bittersweet, pain and gain. So when you are working out in the gym, you're tearing your muscles.
Yes. Breaking it up.
You're breaking up your muscles. You're literally destroying the fiber on your cells in your muscle, because when it generates, it builds. There's no way you can learn without getting hurt. So I try to show this with my kids, but I can't. It's very difficult for me to do that. They will have to go through something, and I have to really hold myself emotionally.
Yeah.
If they let's say fail, or if they fall and they scrape their knee, or if they almost drown, or if they lots of things in life, right? But they don't learn unless some of this happens, and hopefully not all the time, but in ways that they can learn from. So
it wasn't the case in real estate you always had good time, and every time. No. You had tough time and
I
painful
had
days.
failures.
Okay.
I had failures.
Looks like you got more of philosophy from the real estate life. Yeah.
True. It has a lot to do with you having enough patience, being able to control your emotions, and all of this happens if you go through it multiple times. Let's say, for example, but usually your failures in real estate aren't that disastrous because you still
have that
you
something.
have assets.
Yeah.
They were basically business is a killer because with business, a failure is a disaster. If you fail in business,
you have to pay back. So many people.
It takes a very long time for you to come out of it.
Yes.
With real estate, it's like, okay, you bought a property that turned out to be not what you wanted it to be. Okay, and that property is making you money, but
it's taking time.
It's not only that, it's being done in the wrong way.
Okay.
And you don't want to be part of it anymore. You own it. How do you not want to be part of it? So that's when your exit strategy gets a little bit messy. And what you then start realizing is, okay, I'm going to be calm. I'm going to deal with this in a very responsible way. And I'm going to make a deal. And when you make a deal, the market listens.
Yeah.
And if you can get it out in the right way, at the right time, sometimes it's not the right time, so you give it a bit. That's why that's the area of patience. Yes. So you then will be able to still cut your losses, like they call it. You cut your losses. So the actual benefit is that you do cash out. You get cash by exiting, which is in many cases not even possible, because in many cases in business you are out on nothing. You don't have anything. You exit
back to
with
zero.
I wish it's less than zero. You owe people. You
owe people.
So in real estate, that's a different scenario. You wish that you had the chance to keep that property longer, to even in certain cases forget about it. Forget about the real estate that you have.
Really?
Yeah, because a very dear friend of mine, he gave me this advice, and the guy is a wizard when it comes to real estate. He told me, buy property, take the deed, throw it in your safe, and forget about it. What? What are you talking about? What do you mean, forget about it? He's like, trust me, this is the only way to be a wealthy person. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. If you have the chance to own property and not know that you own it, and then you forget, I literally forget about it. Okay. It's the biggest wealth generator out there that you can ever imagine is there. Because what you end up having is a document that you can actually take to the bank any day you want. And you can say, okay, here. That's how much real estate is valuable. It is stronger, or it actually is so appreciated by even the financial sector that a piece of paper can be worth millions. Yeah.
But I don't know why, who was this? Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
He never appreciated for real estate. And I have met few guys also, that they're like, it's easy money and there is nothing to work. It's like you become very, useless. Lazy.
Those guys are maestros in the financial instrument side of things. They play with stocks and bonds and the dividends that they can earn, and the fluctuation that happens in the financial sector, and more specifically in the stock market. And that's a whole different ball game. Now, I'm also in the stock market, but I think of it as being too liquid. It's way too liquid for me. I can go through my entire portfolio in no time because it's like money in the bank. It's literally like you imagine being able to. You have shares in so and so company, and you can at any time sell. Right? There's a bid and there's an ask. So any day of the week, you can exit your entire portfolio. Can you say that's the same with real estate? No. That's not the same with real estate. Real estate lets you think.
Yeah.
Real estate allows for you to mull it through, to think about it, to try to make sense of it before making a decision and moving forward. But in most cases, people tend to want to forget what they have by throwing it in real estate. And then getting positively surprised later on, saying, oh, it's now 150,000 dinars. It was 120 just a few years ago. Why? Oh, because there's this railroad, there's this, I don't know what infrastructure, there's this now in the neighborhood. So now that's what and you don't know, you're oblivious. You own, but you're oblivious to it.
Okay.
But the people who are working in this area, the property management side of things, they can
really evaluate things for you.
And tell you that this is how it's like. And I've met with valuators. In less than 24 hours, they can give you a very accurate. It's so accurate that banks base it on their mortgage facility calculation. So you can have an apartment, for example, and you can say, okay, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to mortgage it. I'll ask for the bank to give me its value, and I'll give them the title deed in place.
Okay.
And let's say you can pay it off. Great. If you can't pay it off, they're just going to keep the property. That's it. You have the money. So it's the same as selling.
Yeah.
That's your exit strategy. Could be. But people try to do it in a way where they're not tricking or fooling the system. They really want to evaluate so that when they sell, they can say, this is the valuation. It's real.
Not vested.
Yeah. And it's accurate because banks can take it and they can actually say that this is actually the value of the real estate that is in question or is being sold or bought. So there's a lot of tools, a lot of people that can help, and a lot of ways where real estate is there to help you. It's not very complicated. People might think, this is like, it's not my kind of thing. I'm not
something which people really need to really study. I think it's not taught in the schools, but it's everyone's really. I feel it like Robert Kiyosaki's books.
Yep.
I read when I was 19 and 20, and it really gave me a sense of understanding for assets, liabilities, and how money is really made, and how money can be a tool. So I think today's discussion, I'm sure everyone should really take out notes from this, and I'm sure you must have enjoyed. But there is one more best part left out, which is our rapid fire questions. Let's go for it. So how do you describe yourself in few words or 3 words?
A positive person.
That's it.
In 3 words?
Yeah.
Go for it. I've always been known, and this is something that's always been given to me, is that I always turn a negative to a positive.
Yeah,
I've always been known for this. I always am the person who is the loudest. Actually, I think I won an award last year or the year before at work, with these staff meetings thingies. And they were like, the loudest. Why am I loud? Is because I try to put energy. I try to give energy out.
Yes. Every time I see.
With people. Now, that's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting giving people energy. But that's a way for me to be positive.
Very nice. So, what are you most grateful for in your life?
Everything.
Let's say if I ask you for like top 3.
My health, my family, and my belief, my Islam. Basically, these 3 for me it gave me a lot of direction. Yani being able to believe and not question, and being able to really realize that we are doing this under the watchful eye, and in the end that all of what we've done is positive and accountable and good and bad and yin and yang and the whole thing. My family, of course, is they're my anchor, my everything, my life, and health is so that I can actually be able to do what I'm doing. So those three, I would say, are the top three.
Top three. So how do you want yourself to be remembered?
As a scholar, I would say. Someone who would be appreciated by generations to come in specific knowledge that I can share, scientific or social. Something within that line. I don't want to be remembered as a business person. I don't want to be remembered as, someone...
Somebody who has thought.
Yes.
What do you do really when you get angry?
I count to 5.
Okay.
I do. It's a way to. You remember when I was mentioning something about how real estate, because it's long-winded, because it's not liquid, it allows you to think. It's with time. You put a little bit of time in front of you. So I started this a long time ago, and it's been working very well because I end up in meetings. Instead of saying the wrong thing, I just shut up. And then I end up counting to myself. And instead of being negative, instead of causing negativity and bringing something to the table that might not be appreciated, I go 1, 2, 3.
MashaAllah. What annoys you the most then, Nani?
Yeah, it's somebody doing something that is wrong, something that is...
Yes. What is that?
Bad. Yani, for example, disrespect is a big problem for me. Disrespect is when you don't... I'm not going to name names, but I just came from my travels, and I went to 2 places.
Okay.
I went to one place that I get disrespected, and it's lovely. It's a beautiful place.
Okay.
Natural, fantastic setting, low cost. Everything is correct. Everything is right, except people are disrespectful. And I went to a place that is 10 times more expensive and not as pretty, maybe. Lots of things that this other location had positives in it, but the people are so respectful. I would choose this place 10 times over this place now.
Wow.
The respect factor is everything to me. If people respect people, you would not have any of this mess out there. The way that people live their lives and the way that they have a certain type of lifestyle.
No judgment.
No judgment. People allowing others to live and let live. That's the key.
Who is your favorite social media influencer so far? Or lately?
The Rock.
Really? Really, you follow him?
I would say that...
He's 90s heroes, huh?
He is, to me, and I'm not saying that people would follow him just because I'm saying that, he's already got tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of followers, but he's a positive person.
Yeah.
He wants you to work out.
His philosophy is strong.
His philosophy is strong. He's got a certain way about how somebody should live their life to the fullest, but still be very righteous and do good. And I love that about people who are influencers and saying the right thing and
using
having people
the right way.
Absolutely.
What is one great thing people don't know about you?
I'm good at math.
Really, huh?
Very good at math.
Maybe that's helping you with the
I think so. I think so. I think this is something that people might... I sometimes think that I don't come across as an academic person. Because it's been a while. I've unfortunately had this career where training is not part of the game. You're not given certain opportunities to show that you are learning and that you are attaining certifications and so on. So I might come across as someone who is not in education, but I am post-grad. I would easily go for my PhD, and not just to be named Dr. Ahmed. It's because I want to be able to stay in this world, stay in this academia. For me is everything. For me, and especially when it comes to numbers. Numbers to me, I love numbers. I absolutely like. I keep saying to my kids that, if they are, and thank God both of them are good in math. And their mother, my wife, she keeps saying, thank God that you're smart in this and you're able to pass this kind of thing on. No, it's also genetics, I think, because really, if you like, some people just automatically don't like numbers. Automatically, they're like, no,
it's not my thing.
I'm into art. It's not my thing. And if you like numbers and you like to solve problems in numbers, and all of these, multiplying, dividing, playing with these numbers in your head, it could get you good things in your life. Because in the end, financially, a lot of people would
finances
say,
need numbers.
Everybody that deals with money has to deal with numbers. So that's one thing I'm sure that people don't know about me that I think is a plus for me.
Okay. Which book has had a profound effect on your life?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Really?
Big time.
Same time.
Big time. Big time.
Good.
It's one of those books that I think in 2019.
Yes.
I picked up, and such good timing because the pandemic hit, unfortunately, to everyone.
But the good thing is that you have gone through this real estate life, and you got this book.
And there you go. And then it just put everything in perspective.
It makes much clearer to
sense. Everything made sense to me.
Okay.
And it was really, really something wow for me to...
Imagine, I read like 15 years back.
There you go.
I think I have one more book written by him, Second Chance.
There you go. That's the next one.
Another one.
Really, huh?
Yeah, he has lots of books.
Yes, I think Second Chance is the next one I'm going to check out.
Maybe it's a repetition some places, but experiences
still useful.
Useful. And it reminders for you because his thing is at the end, the EBIS quadrant.
Yeah.
That's the game he has always shown.
What matters, yeah.
3 skills you wish you learned it when you were, early age.
Financial planning.
Okay. Like I've already given the idea about it.
That's 100% a necessity. I would say knowing, or let's say having the skills to learn what I'm able to get into, like my career. So that would be like economics, maybe learning more about economics, and I would say probably a skill set that's related to something that I can do for a living with my hands, like a trade, like a craft that I would wish I had
done before
a long time ago.
Let's say some kind of artwork, or
no, it could be even being an electrician, for example.
When are you most productive?
Now-ish timing. So like I actually was gonna say this, like it's in the evenings, like when I
really, huh?
Yeah, I feel like I'm more
active in the
awake.
night.
My mind is working better. I'm supposed to be a morning person. But I have a lot of anxiety. Really, I wake up anxious.
Okay.
My mind is all over the place. I can't think straight.
Meditate and pray.
Maybe pray, meditate, drink coffee, relax.
Plan things,
and then by noon, maybe I hope that I can actually get things done even earlier. But usually it's by noonish that I start
being productive.
And plus, in our line of work, clients don't come in the morning and make a deal and close it at 10 a.m. It's not possible. Usually it's in the evenings.
Yes.
So automatically, I've been doing that for the sales part. I've been doing for 10 years. So that became something that is it's part of me. It's become part of me, and I go turbo afternoon, evening. I go full steam ahead. But that makes me collapse a bit later on. But that's the way That's the beast. That's what we're dealing with.
Nice. When was last you were most emotional?
When my mom passed.
Okay.
It was a time that I knew was coming, and it was a time when I was in the most difficult stage at that time in my life. So it was a double hit. You're down, and life kicks you. And I didn't want to not show it even to myself, because I thought that if I didn't show it, that I will be able to deal with it. But that made me even more miserable. It made me even more emotional.
Broke you
things.
inside.
Broke me inside. No tears, nothing. It's just broken person. So I'd say that was probably the most difficult hit anyone can actually have.
Yes.
Anyone in life, when they lose their mom, nothing matters. Nothing matters. Like literally, like a friend of mine just unfortunately had his mom pass, and he was like, they called me, my friends called me, and they want me to go out and whatever. And I think nothing matters anymore. It really doesn't. And I couldn't agree with him less. Yeah. I couldn't agree. Yani, I would say that it's something that is there that unfortunately people have to go through. And sometimes I hate to think of it this way, but I feel lucky that I went through it. Khalas, because whoever hasn't, it's really gonna kick them big time. Like it's one of those things that are monumental, and it's a big hit in their life.
Yeah, the second life starts from there, maybe.
Yeah. They're reborn. And sometimes you think that you're left alone in this life now.
No more.
No more.
You're orphan.
Finished. They're gone. And that I felt when my dad passed. When my dad passed, I felt like, okay, that's it. I'm yatim. To this world. I don't have a mother. I don't have a father, and it became like something that I need to feel to be stronger. And you have to be stronger in this kind of scenario, because if you don't, you'll just collapse and wither away. But if you be stronger and you feel that you are able to survive, and you have your siblings, you have your own family, and that makes it all the while better, and then you can manage to get through it. But emotions in general, you can say, what's the thing that you get most emotions, like, whatever you face in your career, that's nothing.
Yes.
Your career, in the end, real emotions is blood, it's the bond.
Yes.
It's me not being there when the most cherished soul in this world was no more, and I'm working, and I'm at the office, So
what's the point?
Exactly, But that's definitely something that everybody.
Yes.
It's the way of life. It's
I'm sure for you, money is a tool.
It's a tool.
What about happiness? If it is one word.
Family for me is happiness. I can't be happy. I feel if I don't feel that my family is in good shape, this just cancels out happiness. So this whole thing of pursuit of happiness, right, is that you are working so that your family is safe, and they are taken care of, because we're not going to be here forever. So, and I bring this up every now and then, to my wife and I tell her, look, I'm working 13, 14 hours a day because it brings me happiness that I'm doing this to take care of you. And in many cases, she doesn't accept it, and she says, no, you're killing yourself, and what's the use then, when your health is all gone, and blah, blah, blah. But there has to be a balance here. So you being happy is not you being tickled, or you are traveling to a nice place, and that's all temporary. What I'm talking about is lifelong happiness. You're happy with your life, that your family is fine, that you are actually having a positive impact. That really makes a big difference to somebody if they are happy or not.
Nice. So lastly, how was this conversation?
Loved it. Opened my mind. Made me think a lot. It made me...
Nothing is scripted, guys.
Absolutely.
Everything was very, very random, and of course I have thought, because
spontaneous.
The spontaneous thing was from him. He was very impromptu. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching Righteous Rich podcast on YouTube and listening on the podcast platforms. And thank you so much, brother Ahmed Khalfan, for sharing and encouraging us and giving clarity and distinctions for this week. That so far he has shared all his life's experiences with us, and I'm sure you must have liked it. Make sure you share it with your friends and family, and thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.